Reborn back before the apocalypse. I rely on memories from my previous life. I hid in the unfinished building my grandmother left me. The neighbors around thought I must have lost my mind. But only my clear memory remains. The moment the apocalypse arrived in the previous life, this inconspicuous dilapidated building will awaken. The heaven-shattering Doomsday Fortress System. After awakening, the building not only has a constant temperature mechanism throughout the year, and an invulnerable protective barrier. In my previous life, I was devoured by my greedy relatives. This lifetime I will repay you double. Wait for me to open my eyes again. I actually found myself reborn a week before the apocalypse broke out. At this moment, my relatives are planning to kill me. Then I kept all the demolition compensation my grandmother left me. I reacted instantly. The backhand was a big slap. He lashed out hard. He then raised his foot and kicked the opponent hard in the stomach. Mom! She hit me. Only then did I finally see clearly that the girl on the ground was Shi Tianting, my cousin. I will never forget how she cut my wrist. The look in his eyes as he gnawed at me like a mad dog. Yes, I am already dead. Died in the 5th year of the apocalypse. Covered with stones in the heavenly court. And my group of good relatives have gutted themselves as food. I took out my phone. See the date above. June 10, 2035. I actually reincarnated 3 days before the apocalypse. I clearly remember that day I was called to my uncle's house. The house my grandmother left me is about to be demolished. My uncle's family didn't want to pay a single cent, forcing me to transfer the house. I just said that it was the house my grandmother left me. But Shi Tianting knocked him out with a vase. Zhang Chuanxia saw her daughter being beaten and rushed over. He called me a wild owner who didn't even know who his father was. He also said that if they hadn't taken me in, I have long forgotten where I starved to death. He took me in and joked that since I was 10, I've been working part-time to pay for my tuition. Cost of living. I lived in the storage room left by my grandmother. Their family took me in. It's just so I can be their whole family's free babysitter. Now they want me to transfer the house to them. And praised it as this is repaying kindness. In reality, it's just because they're after the demolition compensation I deserve. You talk nonsense. What do you mean, you ingrate? Is an instinct honed over 5 years. He let me easily grab his wrist. The backhand delivered a crisp, loud big. It's the other way around, oh my god. Sure to hi. Where did you die? Your good nephew is about to kill someone. Grandma's house is mine. Don't want to rob anyone. If you want it, you can buy it with money. The fixed price is 5 million. You still want 5 million. You're thinking about fart. You're a bastard born without a mother. That house was surnamed Shi. Your mom doesn't even know which guy it is. Before he could finish, I backhand for another big blow. My mom had a child out of wedlock. She ran away after giving birth to me. Zhang Chuanxia often used this incident to insult me. But in just 3 days, the natural disaster was about to strike. I don't have that much time to waste words with this family. The demolition compensation for the house my grandmother left me. At least 10 million. I only need 5 million, which is enough for them to earn. I'll give you 1 day to raise money, but you're unwilling. I'll sell them to my 2nd and 3rd uncles. With that, I rushed out the door. Hurry toward the old house. As soon as I stepped out of the room, I felt like I had crashed into a furnace. The heat made one's chest feel heavy. I remember clearly. 3 days before the apocalypse, the entire Haicheng was as hot as a steamer. There are also occasional showers. At that time, no one paid much attention to this weather. Until the end of the world arrives. A torrential downpour arrived. It lasted a full month. Extreme rainfall triggered flash floods across the country. Urban water levels are rising. It flooded up to the height of 4 stories. And the flood is just the beginning. What follows are tornadoes, extreme cold, extreme heat, earthquakes, and intermittent acid rain. The transliteration of the apocalypse was shrouded in my mind. It made me dare not waste even a little time. Time is of the essence now. Soon, I arrived in front of the old house left by my grandmother. Although there are 5 levels. But it was already in ruins. A truly dangerous building. While I was struggling with the rusty iron gate of the small courtyard, Aunt Zhang, who runs a mahjong parlor next door, ran out. He started by selling me his homestaying scam. Carefree niece. Without looking back, I kept unlocking the lock. In my previous life, this Auntie Zhang looked down on me. But after old Wu was ordered to be demolished, his attitude toward me changed. Earnestly attentive. I want to slack off my 30-something slackers. Let me introduce you to my niece who is living off her parents at home. Why is this child so ignorant? The auntie is doing this for your own good. You're a young man without parents. If someone marries you, that's already a blessing. Otherwise, you'll be single for life. Seeing him chattering endlessly, the noise excited me. Without hesitation, I took out my phone and called the police. Hello, is this the alarm center? I want to report. Some people gathered to play cards. Aunt Zhang saw that I actually came. If you're really cursing, just slip away. After I got home, a shadow suddenly darted over. It's Milk. I picked up the Milk and kissed him the head a few times. Milk is a stray dog I took in. He had always been very well behaved. Unexpectedly, this time he turned his head and bit my hand hard. This was the first time Milk had bitten me. And it bleeds in one go. Blood dripped directly onto the ground. But just then, a strange mechanical sound echoed in my mind. Human civilization homestead binding program activated. I just dripped my blood into the unfinished building my grandmother left me. Unexpectedly, it activated the apocalypse. Human civilization homestead. The system detected that the host Fang Mu DNA had been verified. Welcome back, Commander. Commanders, and so on. Why does this system even have a title? You can customize the name according to the host's wishes. The current default setting is Lean Management Mode. Just call it your name. Square wood was used to proceed. Then a floating panel appeared before my eyes. It contains introductions to various attributes of the base. Currently, you can spend 1,000 points for the first upgrade. Whether to upgrade. Although I'm a tough guy, but they still made the first decision to upgrade. Then, the attributes of Old Wu on the panel in front of him changed. The base level is 2. Access Control Defense System activated. The main building's structural strength has been upgraded to a copper wall and iron wall. The interior of the main building has been renovated. Styles are optional. Warehouse space has been upgraded to a capacity of 15,000 cubic meters. Unlock permanent freshness locking functionality. Unlock a reservoir capacity of 10 tons. Unlock the backpack feature. Enhanced waterproof and shockproof features. After storing 100 types of supplies, you can unlock more. There are now 3 days left until the end of the natural disaster. I looked at the floating frame in front of me. He cried out in excitement. 15,000 cubic meters of storage space. It also comes with a new permanent lock feature. Even the reservoir has a capacity of 10 tons. If they stockpile all the supplies, it's enough for me to survive in the apocalypse for a long time. Then I immediately started searching inside the house. The system mentioned warehouses and reservoirs. Soon I found myself in a small room. He found an extra door. I didn't hesitate. He pushed the door open and walked in. He saw a vast, empty pure white space. Milk curiously sized up the pure white space, barking loudly at a wall. I'm scared. Don't worry. From now on this is our home. On the other side of the space, there was a transparent space resembling a water cube. It should be a reservoir. This is space folding. But now, even though there was a reservoir, but how could he get so much water in? At that moment, the system panel appeared before my eyes again. Detected that there is a safe water source available for access in the main building. Whether the reservoir is connected. I immediately chose to try. The next moment, I saw a stream of water appear out of thin air above the reservoir. At this rate, can be fully charged in about a few hours. After I came out of the folding space, I tried out the backpack feature again. After taking out my phone, I focused my mind. The phone instantly disappeared. Then I entered the folding space. Sure enough, the phone appeared inside. With this feature, it's so convenient for me to gather supplies. At this moment, I was full of energy. I need to stock up quickly and upgrade my house. I rummaged through everything. After obtaining the homestead certificate, he hurried out the door. When the iron gate was opened, I saw several police cars parked outside the door. Many people were watching from the crowd. Aunt Zhang's crying and shouting. You could hear it clearly even through the human wall. His chess and card room was sealed off. Soon I arrived at the land acquisition department. The receptionist was a bit surprised to see me. Mr. Fang. Your uncle and the others just came to make a scene this morning. They say you disagree with the demolition. I agree, but I have 2 conditions. First, I want to receive the demolition compensation immediately. Can be 600,000 yuan lower than the standard. Second, I want to move out within a week. The staff's eyes lit up. Offering discounts proactively, 600,000 yuan is a big achievement. Mr. Fang, straightforward. I will arrange an expedited process for you right away. While waiting for the funds to arrive, I also took out all the small loans available online. Register all of them once. Bit by bit, he scraped together over 1 million yuan for himself. After leaving the expropriation department, I went to pick up a second-hand van. They went straight to the nearest large supermarket to make purchases. I originally planned to go to the wholesale market. However, the wholesale market is currently undergoing restructuring and demolition. There are still 2 wholesale markets that are too far apart. Less than 3 days had passed since the apocalypse. Time is money now. To avoid drawing attention, I chose the principle of small amounts and many times. All afternoon, I drove the van to dozens of supermarkets of various sizes. 150 bags of flour filled with 50 gin of rice. 50 bags each of high gluten and low gluten. Cooking oil, the largest 200 buckets of instant noodles, self-heating rice, snail noodles, hot pot base. Give me 20 boxes of each type on the shelf. Sir, your amount is too much. Our warehouse may not be enough. I'll take as many as I have first. Deliver the rest to this address tomorrow. I'll add one more freight charge. Alright, you can rest assured. The first thing I did after I was reborn. That is, go to the land acquisition department. Received 10 million yuan in demolition compensation. But the first thing I got was not to buy a house or a car. Instead, I was driving my beat-up van. I visited wholesale supermarkets all over the city. 5 hours of work. My results are as follows. 5,000 gin of rice. 5,000 gin of high and low gluten flour. 4L holds 5,000 barrels of edible oil. 1,000 boxes of instant noodles. 1,000 boxes of self-heating rice. 1,000 gin of hot pot base. Debanjiang, broad bean paste, and various seasonings. 100 boxes each of pickled chili, chicken feet, potato chips, and other nuts and snacks. 100 cases each of various beverages, milk, yogurt, and various canned goods. 100 boxes each of sanitary pads, bath pads, shampoo, conditioner, laundry detergent, and other daily necessities. During the sweep, passing by the pharmacy, I also didn't miss out on alcohol, fever reduction, anti-inflammatory pain, and so on. They don't miss any conventional medicine available on the market. After buying these, I went to the nearby vegetable market again. I rushed over to order 10 pigs before the butcher stall owner closed up. 10 cows. Ideally, it would arrive tomorrow. The boss was startled by the sudden acceptance of such a large order. Lad, why do you buy so much pork at home? Is it not New Year yet? Bought for a relative. Can the boss handle this order? You have to be able to handle it. My cousin's family runs a slaughterhouse. Lamb is also available. Why don't you bring 10 too? Except for pigs, cattle, and sheep. And chickens, ducks, rabbits, all fresh. Then set 100 of each. By the way, if anyone asks, the boss will understand. Let's say it's purchased by the restaurant. These days it's tough for everyone. I won't say much, so thank you. Besides, I also asked the neighboring vendor who sells fruits and vegetables. I ordered a variety of fresh vegetables. All fruits start at 200 gin. After agreeing with the bosses to pick up the goods himself tomorrow, I immediately went to a nearby pet store without stopping. Milk ordered 1,000 gin of dog food. And all sorts of 7,788 stuff. By the time I left the pet store, it was already 9 o'clock at night. Suddenly, I felt a chill run down my head. A sudden torrential rain poured down. I quickly returned to the van. I knew this shower was just the beginning. He parked the van outside the urban village, by the roadside on another street. After parking in the spot, I hurried home. The phone kept ringing nonstop all the way. It was all from second uncle calling. I ignored it. However, just as they were about to get home, but they found a large car parked at the courtyard gate. I walked over quickly. He saw the iron gate wide open. There was still someone standing in the courtyard. My heart sank, until I walked over. He saw that the door was closed. Only then did he breathe a sigh of relief. At the same time, his gaze darkened. Fang Mu, you know about it. When you come back, change the door lock. I nodded. Fortunately, the access control system had been upgraded. Now only I can open the door. I called you before. Why don't you pick it up? Late at night. Did you sell your house to someone again? Do you know how much time you've wasted on me? Where did I go? Can you control it? You're in a hurry to find me because you want an old house. Aren't you? If you want a house, you can offer a fixed price of 6 million. I think you're lawless. This is the attitude you have when you talk to your elders. The house is mine. Sell when I want. Give it to whoever you want. I sneered in my heart. This Sherdahai isn't anything special either. In my previous life I was gutted and dismembered. He had put in plenty of effort too. Tomorrow get out of the old house. Want to buy a house with money. If you don't have money, just take care of it. Anyway, you won't buy it. There are plenty of people who want to buy it. You don't want to live anymore. Do you dare talk to my dad like that? Sherdahai's daughter, Sher Aishua, walked over. He swung his bag at me. It was at this moment. Piercing bark rang out. Then a white figure lunged at Sher Aishua. I stared wide-eyed as Milk was relentlessly attacking Sher Aishua. She scratched Sher Aishua's face until it was covered in blood. I immediately grabbed the milk and rushed inside. With a bang, the door slammed shut. Sherdahai slammed into the air. Take that little bastard and get out right now. Kneel down and apologize to Xiaoxua. There's a second-generation rich kid at school who wants to spend 7 million to buy this house. The day after tomorrow, come to me to sign the contract. Second uncle, you have time to scold me. It's better to hurry and think it through. There's no such thing as a rich second generation. It's all about getting all your money over. Stockpile supplies for me. Sure Dahai saw that he couldn't break through the door. Plus, their daughter was scratched. He had no interest in continuing either. Good. She quickly took her daughter to the hospital. But right after I got home, I actually saw a woman lying right next to me. After second uncle Sher Dahai left, my third uncle Sher Changkai also sent me a message. The gist was to let me pay 100,000 yuan. First, transfer the house to her. After reading the information, I felt so nauseous I wanted to vomit. The uncle offered 5 million. Second uncle offered 6 million. Third uncle, at least offer 4 million. One day of thinking about it is too late. After replying to the message, my mind moved. The cat jar I had bought earlier appeared in my hand. After feeding milk, I went back into the folding space, looking at the extra supplies in the space. Only then did I feel a bit more secure. It's just the amount I'm stocking up on today. Viewed across the entire space. It's really too little. Coming out of the warehouse, I took out my phone and started shopping again. We first ordered 10 family buckets and ice cream. Then there was barbecue, crayfish, and a full portion of various dishes. Braised dishes are also a must-have. Duck necks, duck intestines, and hundreds of various braised dishes were ordered at home. At this hour, the milk tea shop wasn't closed either. Any category available in the store. All require 20 minutes each. Waiting for takeout, I searched online again. Channels for purchasing solar panels and generators. Fortunately, there are small dealers in the suburbs near Haicheng. I have made contact with the other party. Tomorrow I'll come to pick up the goods. Of course, there are also the most important weapons. In my previous life, I met a modding expert. His modified nail gun was extremely powerful, because I saved the other's life, so he taught me how to modify it. It's not very difficult. I first bought tens of thousands of steel balls online. It will arrive tomorrow. Besides, I also bought some baseball bats, stun batons, and anti-wolf throwing bats. This is used to prepare for unexpected needs. I'm planning to look for a hardware store again. Some modification materials still have to be purchased tomorrow. But a knock interrupted me. Turns out the takeout I ordered had arrived. The next 2 hours, I kept picking up takeout. Received soft hands. Sometimes 4 or 5 delivery guys show up together, carrying bags of all sizes. The look they gave me was extremely strange. Tonight, my family is going to have a big party. There are a lot of people. Throwing a party in a dangerous building, not afraid of collapsing. This place is more suitable for a haunted house adventure. You've worked hard, buddy. You're planning to open a milk tea shop. It's a big drinking event. Many brothers gathered together. The young man looked at the old, dilapidated building in front of him. His expression complicated. The gathering is quite unique. I looked at the old building, speechless for a moment. Suddenly, I remembered the system had prompted me before. The interior of the main building can be decorated in a different style. I directly brought up the control panel. There were many options on the list. I hesitated. In the end, I chose a minimalist style. Afterwards, the entire interior of the house underwent a dramatic transformation. I quickly ran outside the house to take a look. From the outside, it still looked like the old, dilapidated house from before. Only then did he breathe a sigh of relief. Back inside the house, after I put all the takeout into the warehouse, just as I was about to take a break. But the system notification sounded. He has collected over 100 types of supplies. Unlock waterproof and shockproof features. Detected that the homestead meets the upgrade conditions. Should it be upgraded? Add 1 new home player. Congratulations, host, for receiving the gift of the Guardian Divine Beast. Agility adds 4, speed adds 4, luck adds 2. I decisively chose to upgrade. Immediately, the attributes on the panel changed. The strength of the main building, storage space, reservoir capacity, and waterproof and seismic resistance have all been improved. At the same time, some new features have been unlocked. What surprised me most was the remote transmission and power supply system. Long-distance transmission can cover a range of 500 kilometers. Other words, I encounter danger anywhere within 500 kilometers. Can instantly send back to my safe house. The only drawback is this. This feature has a 48-hour cooldown. As for the power supply system, that's even more impressive. Even if the power goes out after the apocalypse, I'm not afraid. At that moment, I noticed the upper right corner of the floating frame. A house icon popped up. I tried clicking on my own name, but what popped up was actually a character attribute panel. I stared at my attribute panel, furious. At that moment, the sticky sound of milk interrupted my thoughts. Yeah, I want to add milk to the home system. Then my mind moved. The milk attribute panel appeared before me. Honestly, people are worse than cats. with the update of panel data. Suddenly, I felt my body feel lighter. I immediately ran onto the street and did a 100-meter sprint. Looking at the nearly 2-meter wall in the outer courtyard, he jumped up. He jumped straight in. Then he rushed into the house and did a waltz. After the ability upgrade, I felt like my whole body was full of energy. He came to the mirror. I noticed that from the outside, my body hasn't changed much. But I noticed that my skin condition was very poor. Only then did I realize. It's already early in the morning. Every day is on the rise. And staying up this late. It's strange if the skin condition is good. I called the solar and generator boss I had previously contacted. He stated that he was going to pick up the goods right now. The boss said for the sake of my wealth god. He agreed to my unreasonable request to come pick up goods in the middle of the night. Before setting off, I thought about the milk fortune value at 10 points. So he simply brought milk and went out together. An hour and a half later, I arrived at a small warehouse in the suburbs. You have so many things for yourself. Your van probably can't fit it all in this van. My friend's home is nearby, so I make a couple extra trips. Just move the things to his place first, that's fine. At that moment, his phone kept ringing. After answering the call, his expression instantly changed. My dad, who did he go to book a room with? Aunt Zhang next door. Wife, hold back a bit. My mom mustn't let him carry a knife. I'll be right back. All the goods are in the warehouse. You can go through the trouble and move it yourself. An extra generator and a dozen or so boards. Count it as a gift from me. After you move, remember to lock the door for me. The boss was truly anxious. Just hand me the warehouse key. This is also too smooth. No wonder it's milk with maxed luck. After confirming there were no cameras in the warehouse, I put the generator and solar panels directly into my backpack. Now it's time to unlock the power supply system. Only 10 tons of diesel are needed. The celestial phenomenon was punctured. A torrential downpour poured down. The thunder rumbled loudly. It was as if he wanted to shatter the ground. I drove along the path, but Milk suddenly became agitated. I instinctively pulled over to the side. Milk, what's wrong with you? He ignored me. He just kept shouting toward the outside of the car. I looked outside. Outside, there was a construction site. The developer here has run away. As a result, the project was put on hold. My eyes instantly burned with excitement. Upgrading the homestead will definitely require a lot of things later. After the apocalypse arrives, come out to gather supplies. But it wasn't as easy as it is now. Fight a fight and the bicycle will become a motorcycle. I put on a mask. He put on a black raincoat and climbed inside. The steel piled up under the rainproof fabric was like a mountain. Not far away there was river sand. I put it directly into my backpack seat. The completed building still contains many bags of cement materials, as well as mountains of bricks and stones. Besides, a large truck parked at the construction site. I also put them in the warehouse. I took it all in one go, until my mind started to swell. I finally stopped. This time my warehouse was only half full. Back to the car. I glanced at the time. 5 o'clock in the morning. The pickup time I agreed with the butcher stall owner was 7 a.m. I drove straight to the slaughterhouse. After arriving near the slaughterhouse, I switched to that construction site truck on the road without surveillance. Just drive straight to pick up the goods. After leaving the slaughterhouse, I went to the flower market and bought a batch of seeds and seedlings. At that time, it can be planted on the black soil in the folded space. Then I went to the hardware market. I bought a nail gun and the spare parts needed for the modification. A busy. Another 2 hours passed. After putting the items away in the backpack, I drove the truck to a place without surveillance cameras or pedestrians. He switched to a van and drove back into the city. In the end, I went to the market again. I picked up the vegetables and fruits I ordered yesterday. During this time, my phone kept ringing. The caller was second Uncle Shur Dahai. I turned on remote monitoring. Through the panel, the person who saw Shur Dahai stopped right at the entrance of Old Luomen. These past few days I have bought a lot of supplies. The money in my hand was almost gone. Since second uncle wants my house so much, then don't blame me for being rude. Then I drove to a cafe. Meet Shur Dahai here. The house can give you. Right now, you either sign a contract and send money or get lost. You only have 5 minutes to think. Although Shur Dahai was angry, but what he wanted even more was Lao Luo's 10 million yuan demolition compensation. He took the contract and glanced at it. It would take 7 days before the old building could be transferred. What is the meaning? Why are you afraid I'll take the money and run away? Doesn't matter. If you don't sign, the place will be fully booked. Shur Dahai wasn't afraid of me taking the money and running away. He had been in business for so many years. There are people in the streets too. I can sign this contract and pay you in advance. But for the next few days, don't run around everywhere. Always staying in the old building. Half an hour later. My phone notified me that a sum of money had been deposited in my account. I quickly signed the contract. You pay for the coffee. After saying that, I left without looking back. Follow suit. I invited my third uncle to meet at that coffee shop as well, and scammed him out of 4 million. Fortunately, the relationship between the third and second uncles was poor. They have completely cut off contact for the rest of their lives. Otherwise, how could I have made 10 million from my second and third uncles with tears? After leaving the cafe, suddenly, lightning and thunder roared in the sky. A torrential downpour began. I know from now on, this heavy rain will not stop. I immediately went to the largest outdoor gear store in the city. A large number of outdoor gear such as cold weather clothing, outdoor jackets, diving equipment, and oxygen tanks were purchased. Then he drove toward the neighboring city. 2 hours later, I arrived at the assault boat store I had arranged for a long time. This store is located by the riverside. Now the river water has risen to the dike. The owner himself also owns 3 small yachts that can accommodate 10 people. I told the boss, willing to buy the owner's second-hand small yacht at full price. So the owner generously gave me the fuel and storage oil from the boat. After receiving the money, the boss handed me the keys. So he planned to rush home. Stop, you need to hurry and get someone to drive away. The water is rising too fast now. The rain is too heavy right now. The riverbank had long been deserted. I privately confirmed there was no surveillance footage. He directly packed both the small yacht and the assault boat into his personal backpack. Then he rushed straight to the next house. There's a big solar panel manufacturer here. I have a huge sum of money in my pocket now, planning to go straight to the big business. At this point, the heavy rain was pouring heavier. There are fewer and fewer cars on the streets. There are still 15 hours left until the apocalypse arrives. The remaining 10 million, almost all of it is invested in solar panels and generators. This wave of mine almost wiped out all the manufacturer's inventory. I requested it during the moving process. Everyone else in the warehouse withdrew, although the manufacturer found it strange, but he agreed. After everyone had left, I confirmed that all the cameras in the warehouse were turned off, so I started my own receiving mode. By the time I finished speaking, you see someone already flooding into the warehouse. It was already completely dark outside. Suddenly, there was a loud bang. The warehouse was plunged into darkness. I knew the power was cut off. His chance had come. Shanghai Shirenshi was the first city to experience a love sacrifice, falling into the flood. Here, you can start zero-cost purchases in advance. I drove my assault boat straight to the gas station I had already set foot on. They directly drained all the gasoline and diesel in the gas station. After draining all 6 nearby gas stations, my head was already stung unbearably. It was already 8 in the morning, but the gloomy sky still felt as if the night had lost sight of the light. 3 more hours later, floods, mudslides, and landslides triggered by heavy rain will occur worldwide. A tsunami erupted in a coastal city. Countless people will lose their lives. And the city I am in now. This will mark the official beginning of the era of a global natural disaster in provinces. Without hesitation, I chose remote teleportation. The next moment, I was back at my clean and comfortable home. After taking a shower, after upgrading my homestead on the system panel, I collapsed and fell asleep. Next, the apocalypse is about to arrive. While I was asleep, the old building is quietly being upgraded. After waking up, I glanced at the time. He actually slept the whole day. It was already the next morning. I hurried to the window. Outside, heavy dark clouds piled up like stones. A torrential rain poured down. But inside the old building it was very quiet. I took a deep breath, pushed open the window. The sound of heavy rain rushed into my eardrums. Soon I noticed. The water level outside had already reached the 3rd floor of the old house. I hurriedly ran downstairs. The scene before me stunned me. The windows on the 3rd floor were not tightly closed. But the water outside didn't seep into the house at all. Instead, it was completely isolated by a barrier. An indescribable sense of security and happiness enveloped her completely. On the first day of the apocalypse, I had to treat myself to a good meal. I scooped up the tailgating milk. Full of energy, he rushed toward the 4th floor. Baby, today we have all kinds of rich fish and meat canned food. After 5 minutes, milk buried in the dog bowl is good for dry rice. I took out a cup of taro bobo milk tea from my backpack. 1 portion of Buddha jumps over the wall, 1 serving of fatty beef rice bowl, and 1 serving of bobo chicken, plus a serving of double skim milk. He started wolfing down his food. While eating, he took out his phone, looking at the missed calls and unread messages from 99 stores. I laughed out loud. Open the chat app. I actually saw a new group chat. The group leader is Shi Chengkai. As for the group members, of course they are my loving family. I went straight to the very top of the message. Let's start from the beginning. Squarewood. You short-lived. You actually dare to cheat my money. For million, I mortgaged my house and car. Small beasts. You dare to cheat my money. You wait to sit through the prison. I only found out after flipping to the back. Sure Dahai actually came to Lao Lu, but he picked the lock and climbed through the window. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't get in. Sure Aishua even called her young boyfriend over midway. The three of them couldn't find me. The heavy rain started again. Then the three were temporarily taken in by Aunt Chang's house next door. But unexpectedly a night passed. The water actually flooded directly to the third floor. Upon learning that Sure Dahai and his daughter were trapped next door, I was extremely satisfied. Now it's much easier to get revenge. At this moment, caller ID on mobile phones. Sure Aishua, you wretch. Are you at home? You watch us flood and you don't open the door. You have such a poisonous heart. You didn't drown. Is it really that unfortunate? The father and daughter were trembling with anger. At that moment, the door on the opposite balcony opened. A figure slowly walked out. Milk tea bought for 6 million yuan tastes great. Second uncle and cousin. Thank you for the hospitality. Sure Aishua screamed and cursed, stomping her feet repeatedly. Sure Aishua's boyfriend stepped forward. Let's flip over. Her balcony window wasn't sealed. Just wait, when we come over you're finished. From Aunt Zhang's house to my balcony, it only takes one big step to get through. But I'm not worried at all. The young man confidently stepped forward. The balcony countertop was clearly right there. But he managed to step and miss. He fell in front of everyone. Count him lucky. He grabbed the utility pole. If the water flow is gentle, he could even swim back. But now, if he let go, he'd be doomed. This scared him so much he screamed loudly. Help, please save me. Saving people is impossible. The reason I didn't stop him from coming over. It was all to test old Luo's defensive mechanics. I had no mood to appreciate this prop anymore. I returned to the living room, closed the balcony gate. I noticed earlier that the system gave a newbie gift pack. If it weren't for Sure Dahai and the others interrupting him, I opened the gift pack a long time ago. Who can resist the temptation of blind boxes? I took 2 deep breaths, looking at the game gift box-like presence on the light screen before him. Click without hesitation to claim it. Before their eyes appeared a scene of fireworks blooming. The next moment the system notification sounded. After opening the newbie gift pack in front of me, gain 2 draw opportunities, plus 1 generous spinach. Using it permanently increases strength. 2 points, a bit of stamina. Looking at the spinach that appeared out of thin air in his hand, I just stuffed it into my mouth. After eating the spinach, soon, I felt every cell in my body seemed to be filled with strength. Then, full of anticipation, I logged out of the card draw page. I wonder what surprises the gacha system will bring. After thinking it over, I brought over milk with a full luck value. He held her hand and tapped it. Draw a strong spinach, a good thing. I didn't hesitate. Spinach is directly poisoned. Then, nervously, I drew the last card. Draw small and medium-sized food manufacturing plants. Placing food manufacturing plants within the Pure Land area. And produce 100 compressed biscuits. Reward points of 20,000. I suddenly stood up, suppressing his excitement. Carefully read information about food manufacturing plants. Placement conditions. Areas within the boundaries of the Pure Land that can be covered. The area requirement is not less than 300 square meters. Production conditions. Every 10 gene of flour yields 100 compressed biscuits. Or spend points. The production and exchange ratio is 1 to 10. 10 gene of flour can produce 100 compressed biscuits. Wow, this really is low pay, high output. I tried clicking on the card for a small food factory. A map immediately appeared before his eyes. Centered around old buildings. There was an aperture displaying Pure Land. The coverage area happens to cover the entire urban village. Only the old building is lit on the map. The other buildings are black and gray. Gray buildings all have overlayable signs. Black buildings indicate that they need to be cleaned. Inhabited houses need to be cleared before they can be covered as Pure Land. Can vacant houses be directly covered? I can't wait to confirm this hypothesis. Then I went down to the first floor. Change into wetsuits. Carry an oxygen tank on your back. Open the door. A transparent barrier blocks the water flow. I took a deep breath. It entered the flowing water. Soon, I arrived at the house next door marked as coverable. After entering through the window, I immediately chose to override. The next moment the water in the room quickly receded. An invisible barrier enveloped the building. The pure soil covers an area of 180 square meters. The total floor area of the new building is 300 square meters. Meets the requirements for placement in small food production plants. Whether to place or not. Without hesitation I chose yes. Almost in the blink of an eye, this old, dilapidated house has become a completely different appearance. Pure white floor tiles and walls. The incandescent bulb above was on. A clean and hygienic, fully automated production line. My heart was racing. He opened the properties panel of the food factory. Small food production plants can produce compressed biscuits products. Efficiency 100 units every 12 hours. Operating a food factory is very simple. There is only one main console. You just need to choose to start production. And most importantly, the food factory's defense mechanism synchronizes with the streamer. I don't have to worry at all about others barging in. A door can be placed to connect it. Master, please select the placement location. I instinctively chose an open lot. Immediately, a door appeared out of thin air. I tried to open the door and walk over. I actually went straight back to my bedroom in the old building. Looking at the door standing out of thin air behind him, I couldn't help but laugh. Isn't this just like any random door from a certain anime? Then I went to take a shower. After all, this flood is truly dirty. Just after washing, a scream came from outside. I walked straight toward the balcony on the 4th floor. On the balcony, the scene outside shocked me. Her young boyfriend was seen twitching on the billboard. His eyes had already rolled back. Occasionally, phone calls flashed across the water's surface. Electrocuted, he was electrocuted. Hit 120. It's over, he's dead. Amid the screams, I felt a bit scared too. I guess I got lucky this time. It is water before the leakage. Otherwise, reborn and return to gain the Golden Finger Fury. 2 days later, he was electrocuted. It was absolutely laughable. The 5th day of the apocalypse. The urban village lost power. The emergency lines were all busy. Social media apps instantly show myopia. Floods are occurring everywhere. Coastal cities are no exception. There was news of official rescue. But too many people were affected. It's impossible to save them all. My old building immediately started the power supply system. I always make myself lunch. Was about to eat, but forgot to close the Yongtai gate. The scent drifted to the next room. Pasture, you come out for me. We're starving here. You live comfortably at home. Sure, Aishue was causing trouble outside again. I rolled my eyes. He got up to close the door. Brother Long, you saw that, right? His family was all about food. At that moment, 2 figures walked out of the house. It was Zhang Long and his underlings. Brother Long liked to play mahjong at Aunt Chang's mahjong parlor, just like Sure Aishue and the others. It was also the day of the heavy rain that I stayed at Aunt Chang's house. Wake up from a nap. He also found he couldn't go home. Zhang Long saw the meat in my hand. He swallowed frantically. I gave a sly smile. Good afternoon. Have you eaten? Brother Long and the others had been hungry for 2 days. Her stomach growled from the scent of meat. Bro, so much meat. You can't finish it all by yourself, right? I'm being scheming so I can help you share the burden. Fang Mu, you have something to eat. Why not give us a little more? You are so shameless. I stared coldly at Sure Aishue. Whoever smashed his mouth. Who do I feed them? Fang Mu, you're crazy. Do you think others are dogs? You give me a piece of meat. Others have to obey your command. Sure Dahai also came over at this moment. Fang Mu, you caused Jiang Yuqiang's death. For the sake of the light cavalry incident, you give us food. I can even hire a lawyer for you. Otherwise, just wait to eat peanuts. I pointed at Sure Dahai again. Knocked out one of his teeth. I'll give you a piece of meat. Sure Dahai and his daughter were furious. Brother Long and the others also felt humiliated. Getting ready to come over and get to work, but he was more cautious. Not a single step came over. He was lying on the edge of the balcony, leaning forward. I grabbed the exposed steel bar on my balcony. I grabbed the baseball bat beside me. He slammed down Brother Long's forearm. Save me, save me. Hurry and pull me in. The others hurriedly pulled him back. After the meeting, they felt much better. I went back inside to get ready to continue eating. At that moment, the system's voice sounded. New features in mainstream defense systems have been launched. Then the system page popped up. I noticed on the map, there were 5 red dots in Aunt Chang's house next door. This matches the current number of people in Aunt Chang's household. What do you mean? Could these red dots all be people with malicious intent toward me? At this moment, my phone rang. Liu Ruyan? I pressed the answer button in a daze. Wei Fangmu, brother. Are you okay? Liu Ruyan is 17 years old this year, just in his senior year of high school. He lost his mother at a young age. His dad spent his days drinking, gambling, and beating people. When he was little, he was almost abused to death by his father. The beginning of our friendship, probably because of similar childhoods. In my previous life, I had a fever of 40 degrees. Still searching outside for supplies. People are about to die outside. It was Liu Ruyan who saved my life. They found me 2 ibuprofen tablets. He even gave me an expired piece of bread. Is brother Fang Mu listening? Be careful at home alone. Now many people in the neighborhood group chat are cursing you. That Aunt Zhang said in the group that you killed someone. He even broke the hands of the punk dragon. He also said you have a lot of supplies at home, monopolized by one person. Lu Shang and the others seem to have bad intentions. You must be careful. I hummed. Switch the call amplifier back to the chat group on your phone. Aunt Zhang was angrily listing my crimes. Fang Mu, that murderer can't be kept alive. He really dared to kill. He deliberately enjoyed his life on the balcony. Zhang Long just wanted to go over and ask him for something to eat. He then broke someone's hand with a stick. This woman is so fierce. He dared to kill. How many people are there over there? Let's climb over the balcony together to deal with him. Lu Shang kept asking around. Is I the only one in my family? How much food is there? I glanced at the map. There are 15 heads in Lu Shang's building. Interestingly, all 15 heads turned red. Did you see that Lu Shang in Fang Muge's group? I felt he had ulterior motives. You stay home alone and close your doors and windows. Be careful to spot Ruyan. Thank you. I see it. I will be careful. How are you and your grandmother? Is there enough food? We can still do it. If you save a bit, you can eat for a few days. Fang Mu and Lu Shang had a lot of people. And I feel like they don't just want to grab things. That Lu Shang looks at you strangely. You'd better find a way to hide. Or call the police. Alarm. Nowadays, where could the police really handle it? But I made a note of it. This affection is like smoke. Protect yourself and your grandmother. The doors and windows were sealed tight. Whoever comes, don't open it. If you really can't hold on any longer, call me. I immediately took out the nail gun and pellet from the folding space. Modified according to memories from the previous life. After a busy day, it was dark. I finally completed the transformation. I was just about to find a target to test it out. Milk, who had been sleeping quietly beside her, but suddenly ran to the window. He kept blowing toward the outside.